Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our live coverage of the 50th QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. From Wrocław, Poland, I'm Lucas Wiseman. This is the round of 24 for the men at the Sky Bowling Center. We start off game one with Gibraltar, Russia, Philippines, Finland, Hong Kong, and Israel here on the featured pairs. All of these bowlers bowled 20 games of qualifying so far this week, and now they will bowl 8 more games today. And after a total of 28 games, we will advance the top 8 into the round of 8 round-robin match play tomorrow morning, starting at 9:30 Central European Time. So again, the top 8 players off this squad after 28 total games will advance in the match play tomorrow morning, where they will bowl 8 games of round-robin match play, and then the top 3 will advance into the stepladder finals, which will be broadcast live here on Bowl TV at approximately 3:30 p.m. Central European Time. And I say approximately because the men will follow the women's show whenever they finish. And that's, by the way, 9:30 a.m. in the Eastern Time in the United States, and the women's show is scheduled to start at 1:30 Central European Time, 7:30 Eastern Time in the U.S. You can find the live scoring and also the results at QubicaAMF.com, QubicaAMF.com. Stories and photos, as well as some videos at bowlingdigital.com. And, of course, live streaming provided by bowl.com, bowl.com/bowltv. You're watching live coverage of the 50th QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup men's round of 24. We're in the first game. It's about halfway through on 15 and 16, and in the 7th frame on 13 and 14 of this opening game. You can find live scoring for any of the pairs here in the Sky Bowling Center at QubicaAMF.com if you'd like to follow somebody who's not on the live stream pairs right now. Just about ready to start the 10th frame on 13 and 14. Still 3 frames to go on 15 and 16 as we wind down our opening game of the round of 24 here live on Bowl TV. I do expect some pretty high scores in this round, and it would not surprise me if we end up with a couple of perfect games in this round. Livikens of Latvia has the front 9 this game. And I think that that's going to be maybe a common thing here today. I think that, like I said, I think we're going to see high scores, and I think we're going to see a lot of big strengths of strikes in this round. The Latvian left a split in the 10th frame, and people are walking by telling me it's my curse, and I jinxed him. Looks like India with the front 8 on lane 5. Looks like it's front 9 now for India on 5 and 6. On our featured pairs, 201 for Gibraltar, 223 for Russia, Philippines 235. Israel can get to 237. Finland 247. And Hong Kong 258 maximum. I'm just closing out game 1 of 8. India has the front 9 on lane 6. I'm going to go down there and see what happens.
La pe prietenul tău, dar el a două. Nu-i ține trasa.
Ended up being 297 for India, the opening game. As we will wait for everybody to move, we're going to have Chris Barnes on from the USA, along with Colombia and England on 13 and 14. Yeah, it looks like India is going to move right to our featured pairs after shooting a 297 start, along with Sweden. And perhaps Canada as well. Yep, so Colombia, England, USA, Canada, India, and Sweden are the featured bowlers for game number 2. Should have updated standings coming in just a few minutes. We are in game 2 of 8. Just underway here with the men's round of 24. And after this 8-game block, the top 8, based on their 28-game totals, will advance into round-robin match play tomorrow, starting at 9:30 a.m. Central European Time. Updated standings are scrolling on the bottom of your screen. They are also updated on the website. Your top 8 after 21 games of competition: Germany, Ukraine, USA, Romania, Sweden, Philippines, Australia, and Israel. Malaysia, Latvia, England, Colombia sitting just outside of the top 8. Along with India as well. So coming into game 22, which is a game that's currently in progress, Tobias Boarding still has a big lead. German leading by 173 pins on the field. Kubica of the Ukraine is second. Chris Wyons of the United States is third. Your cut number right now is a 227.19 average. That's Oren Cohen of Israel. Malaysia 16 pins out of 8th. Latvia 26 pins out. England 39. Colombia 44. And India 48. Hong Kong 97 pins outside. Still a lot of bowlers that have a chance to bowl their way into the top 8. There's a lot of games left. And scores may be pretty big today. We already had a 297 game by India. And Sarda is on the live stream pairs right now. He just shot that spare on lane 15. Magnus Jansson's doing a lot of striking this game as we watch one of the referees go down and get a pin out of the channel. Michael Schmidt from Canada struggling a bit this game, gets a strike on that one, but Magnus Janssen starting with a spare and 5 strikes in a row, and Thornton from England with the front 7. And Otalora with 6 strikes in a row. So we've got a lot of strikes being strong on this pair this game. Magnus getting ready to bowl on the far right side of your screen on lane 16. You see him there. Another strike for him, 6 in a row. String of strikes came to an end for Thornton. Left that 10 pin, he just made it though. So his string ends at the front 7. Magnus Jansson trying to extend his string of strikes here in the 8th frame. The young Swede, the son of the longtime coach of the Swedish national team by the same name, Magnus Jansson Senior now. Otalora from Colombia still stringing strikes. 8 strikes in a row for him now after starting with a spare. You're watching live coverage of the 50th QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup round of 24 for the men here on Bowl TV. Chris Barnes with a 10 pin. He's not really in the striking party here. There's a lot of strikes being thrown, but Chris isn't throwing very many of them. In fact, no doubles this game for Barnes. He's going to have to work just to get a 200 game out of this. You can tell Barnes is rather frustrated based on the body language. Scores are high, not that hard to hit the pocket, but not that easy to carry either. Schmidt letting out a little bit of a yell there, frustrated about the 10-pin. Scores are high, pressure's on. A lot on the line in this round. Got to find a way to stay in the top 8. And if you're up there already, you got to find a way to stay in the top 3. That's the goal, is to be in the top 3 for the finals tomorrow. A strike for the Colombian. A chance for a 290 game with a strike on his last shot. So Manuel Otalora finishes with 289 here in game 2. Barnes with a double in the 10th, actually triple in the 10th, strikes up for 209. After a frustrating game with a lot of 9 spares in it. Thornton from England can strike out for 279 this game. He's stepping up right now on lane 14. .193 for Canada. Sweden going to be at 243 with a strike on this shot. India max score 204. And here is the final shot for England, and it is 279. Game 3 will start in just a couple of minutes, live on Bolt TV. All right, we're in our third game now, and we've got Germany, Netherlands, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Slovakia, and Australia on the featured pairs this game. results are scrolling on the bottom of your screen. And just got an update in. And Tobias Boarding still in first place. I think the big news that game looks like Kalika from the Ukraine shot 159. Dropped from 2nd to 7th. That shows you how high the scores are. That was a very high scoring second game. So it's right now first is Germany, then USA, Romania, Philippines, Sweden, Australia, Ukraine, and Colombia. Steve Thornton from England is 5 pins outside of 8th place. Safiq Ridwan of Malaysia is in 10th place, 23 pins off the cut. Warren Cohen of Israel drops down to 11th and is 34 pins behind the cut. And Arturs Levikins of Latvia at 64 pins outside of the cut number with 6 games to go. again, you're watching live coverage of the round of 24 here at the 50th World Cup, UAE front five. Loader from Australia with the front four up right now on lane 14. And I'm sorry, UAE with the front six now. That was sixth frame. This is our third game of 8 in this round of 24. just about done here with game 3 on 15 and 16. Finishing up the 9th frame, getting ready to head into the 10th. Tobias Boarding, our tournament leader, another 240 game. Basically, feels like he shoots 240 every game, and it's about right. His average is 242.38, and he's getting ready to bowl a little bit higher than that, 243 this game. So that average is going to go up by like 1/100th of a point. But it's still another great game for Boarding as he continues to just roll along here in the round of 24. Another 243 for Tobias. He definitely will stay in the lead and may even increase the lead by just a bit. Netherlands max score 216. UAE max score is 251. As 13 and 14, sorry, as 15 and 16 wrap up this game. Australia looking at a max of 268 this game. There's another strike. Big start for the Australian so far today. Glenn Loader, 268, 279, 268 his first 3 games. His final shot coming up here on the far left side of your screen. Dream start for Glenn Loader. 8-15 for his first 3 games today. 268, 279, 268. I have some updated standings to read off for you here. As we expected, Tobias Loader still in first place, and his lead is growing. He now leads by 235 pins over Glenn Loader of Australia, who with the 8:15 for the first three games has really just charged right up the standings and into second place. Chris Barnes is in third. Manuel Otalora of Colombia, we saw him shoot 289 a couple of games ago. 8:16 for the first three today. Now in fourth place. Biboy Rivera of the Philippines is in fifth. Magnus Jansson of Sweden is in sixth. Romeo Gagnew of Romania, seventh place. Mikhailo Kalika of the Ukraine, only 570 today. That is easily the lowest total of the 24 competitors in this round. And he has dropped from second place to eighth and is on the bubble right now. Steve Thornton of England is 9th. He's 1 pin outside of the cut. Safiq Ridwan of Malaysia is 14 pins behind 8th place. Oren Cohn of Israel, 18 pins back. And Arturs Levikins of Latvia, 58 pins behind 8th place with 5 games to go. You can find the standings online at QubicaAMF.com. This game we've got Finland, Hong Kong, and Romania on 13 and 14. 15 and 16 is Latvia, Malaysia, and Philippines. So a couple of good pairs here. So we see some of the contenders to make the top 8 this game. After this game, we'll be at the halfway point of the round of 24 block. Bowl 8 total games. This is game 4. So starting to come to an end pretty quickly here after this game. People are going to have to start making their moves and trying to jockey for position, and those at the top try to stay there. There has been an awful lot of movement on the standings so far today. Lots of people moving around up and down the standings in the first 3 games today, and I would expect that that will continue in these last few games. Once this round of 24 for the men ends, that will be the end of our coverage for today. And live streaming resumes tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Central European Time with the round of 8 round-robin match play. The finals are scheduled to start now at 1:30 with the women, Central European Time, at 7:30 in the United States on the East Coast. Men, approximately 3:30 p.m., but depends on how quickly they get done. Everything's just kind of going to run in succession tomorrow, starting with the round robin, and then about a 45-minute break, and then we'll start with the finals for the women, and then finals for the men. And the finals are best of 3 matches in both the semifinal and the final, so they either can take a while or they can go pretty quick. And they're going to bowl just regular pace of play, not match play or pro style, where one bowler bowls 2 frames, the next bowler bowls 2 frames, etc. They're just going to bowl when the arrows are on their names during matches tomorrow, which will make things go even faster. Some nice scores being put up this game as well as we head into the final frames of Game 4. B-Boy Rivera putting up the biggest game as of now, with open in the first and 7 strikes in a row. But Arturs Levikins of Latvia can strike out 9th and 10th for 257. .227 for Finland. 192 for Romania, so that's gonna, sorry, 193. That might hurt him a little bit. Dagnio has dropped down in the standings a little bit today. Seventh place. And when you're averaging almost 230 a game, when you shoot 193, your average is going to go down a bit. 177 for Hong Kong. 10th frame on 15 and 16. B-Boy Rivera getting ready to step up on lane 15. Working on 8 strikes in a row after starting with an open frame. Let's see if B-Boy can get another one here. Leaves the 10 pin. So his max score is going to be 258. Levikins of Latvia with a trip 4 for a double in the 10th, and he's going to get into the 240s this game. So Latvia, 243. Malaysia can strike out for 247 as this game comes to a close. Sure looks like it was another high-scoring game across the bowling center. Tobias Boarding continued to increase his average ever so slightly with a 244 that game.
18 jaar. 3 keer verteld.
All right, game number 5 underway. Sweden, Bahrain, Italy, Romania, Saudi Arabia, and Slovakia on the featured pairs for game 5 of 8 as we officially cross the halfway point. Right after 24 games, it's Germany, Australia, Colombia, Philippines, USA, Sweden, Ukraine, and Romania, your top 8. Ninth place is Safiq Ridwan of Malaysia. And he is 18 pins behind 8th place. Steve Thornton of England is now 27 pins back. Oren Cohn of Israel is 45 pins back. Artur Levkins of Latvia, 53 pins back of 8th place. Watching live coverage of the 50th QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup here on Bowl TV. We're in Game 5 of 8, the round of 24 for the men. Have about an hour and a half to go here, it looks like, before we will know our final 8 for round-robin match play tomorrow. 20 games of qualifying over the last 4 days, and 8 more games today for the top 24. So after the 28 game totals, the top 8 advance. Everybody else is done. You can find standings at QubicaAMF.com, QubicaAMF.com for results and live scoring, as well stories and photos at bowlingdigital.com. Starting to wrap up game number 5 in the 10th frame on 15 and 16. Romania max score 198. Saudi Arabia max is 247. Slovakia 213. Bahrain max score 279. Now 258. Sweden max 225. Italy max 246 as we wrap up this game. 3 more games to go. Games 6, 7, and 8 coming up to close out the round of 24 for the men.
Did you notice the guy came down with you guys? Halfway through the game, already 2 frames behind. All he said to all his subscribers. Yeah.
Speak to the guy in front of me.
That's it. You've got to wait for him to finish.
If they say something on me, how many games work in his last?
Yeah.
How many?
Most time.
One lane. Someone's gonna lose their shit. Thank you for replying.
No, not yet.
Well, I was wondering what that was. Yeah, it's supposed to be so much actual. Easier. Bad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know, but it wasn't. Yeah. one of them.
Oh, like lots of baseball. I barely saw a ball.
Yeah, that's
It smells like glass was in.
Yeah.
Like, conversation, dusty.
I knew what you meant as soon as you said that. As long as people aren't saying that about me, I'm eating my lunch.
Game 6 in progress now. Latvia, Malaysia, Israel, Australia, Colombia, and England on the featured pairs for this game. We've got games 6, 7, and 8 to go before we call it a day here and know our top 8 for the round robin match play tomorrow. Give you an update on the standings now. As they've just come in, and Tobias Boarding continues to cruise along here. Shot 267 last game, and he has expanded his lead to exactly 300 pins over second place. Philippines in second, Australia third, Colombia fourth, USA fifth, Sweden sixth, Ukraine seventh, and Malaysia now in eighth place. Romania is 2 pins outside of eighth place. England is 31 pins outside. Latvia 53 pins, Israel 72, UAE 77, and Italy 86. So with 3 games to go, still have a lot of players that have a chance to make it into the top 8. You can find the standings at QubicaAMF.com. Click the Bowling World Cup tab at the top of the page. If you'd like to keep an eye on the live scoring, you can see any of the pairs, the scoreboards for any of the pairs in the bowling center. And that again is at QubicaAMF.com if you'd like to follow the leaders on the live scoring, feel free. This is game 6 of 8. So we've got about 2.5 games to go in the round of 24. Just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the 50th QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup here on Bowl TV. Game 6 of 8. Latvia, Malaysia, Israel, Colombia, England, and Australia on the featured pairs. Several of these bowlers inside the top 8 or just on the verge of being in the top 8. Of the bowlers on this pair, the player who's in the highest position at this point is Glenn Loader of Australia. He is in 3rd place. Manuel Otalora of Colombia is in 4th place. Safiq Ridwan of Malaysia, who is on lane 13, is in 8th place. And then you've got England, Latvia, and Israel. They are 10th, 11th, and 12th, and all battling, trying to make it into the top 8. And they are sitting anywhere from 31 to 72 pins outside of 8th place coming into this game. So they need big games on what has been a high-scoring day here at the World Cup to make it into that top 8. All right, wrapping up game 6. Israel 248 with a strike on the last ball. Latvia only 205. Going to lose some ground. Malaysia can strike out for 217. Otalora struggling a bit this game, only going to be in the 190s. Assuming he spares the 245. Australia, 240 max. England, 259 maximum. A 194 for Colombia. recapping 204 Latvia, 248 Israel. And Malaysia max 197 now, so there's going to be another shakeup in the standings more than likely. I think that the Malaysian is going to drop out of the top 8 with 2 games to go. He's bowling his lowest game of the day. Big shot here for Thornton, and he gets another strike. 6 in a row. He was just outside of 8th place, sitting in 10th by 31 pins. So this is a big game for Steve Thornton. Just about done with the round of 24. Just 2 games remain. 220 for Australia. Nice carry there for Thornton. And here's our final shot on the featured pairs of this game. Great game by Steve Thornton. 259 is what he ends up with. Had 3 9 spares front half of the game, then really turned it on. Threw a big string of strikes at the end, 8 in a row to close out that game. And things are going to be awfully close going into the last 2 games. Around that cut score number.
По четырем ты заходишь. Шестой, восьмой. По четырем какой? Шестой. Седьмой. Ну так седьмой остался, там никто тебя не прикинул. Седьмой, 2.18, 2.10. Да, нормально. 2.12, 2.18, 2.10. Ох, какая разница, что ты машина поехал. Там нахуячили, кто лучше. Короче, не думай, да, надо думать. Я уже надумал, Вера. Слишком много. Все нормально. Все нормально. Я 600, наверное, я думаю, 600 я спасет, поэтому шансов очень много. Не старайся, можно нет. Да, iPad здесь лежит. Wi-Fi ложишь, скайп будет. Нет, А7 зеленый. Что там тоже? Опять там всякие? Да? Там всякие. Ну, в финале без... Эмоции в финале больше. Потому что в финале, блядь, Тобик там открыл. Ну, это гигель на 250. По 4 было, наверное. 250. По 4 еще 100 добавил. 250 сидели. По 4. Я думаю, еще 50 точно надо. 300 на 4. Скай 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Там мы все игры выиграли.
Okay, guys. If I struck any less, I'd have to bowl second in a coffee lead. Yeah. Game 7 underway now. Ukraine, Netherlands, UAE, USA, Gibraltar, and Russia on the featured pairs this game. Standings are updated on the bottom of your screen. They're going to scroll through for you. Just got the updated standings. And it is, of course, Germany still in the lead by 290 pins. B-Boy Rivera of the Philippines is second. Glenn Loader of Australia is third. Magnus Janssen of Sweden is fourth. Manuel Otalora of Colombia is fifth. Chris Barnes of the United States is sixth. Misha Kalika of the Ukraine is seventh. And Steve Thornton of England has moved into the top 8 after that big 259 game. And Romeo Gagnew of Romania is now 30 pins outside of 8th. Safiq Ridwan of Malaysia is 31 pins behind. Oren Cohen of Israel, 52 pins out. Arthur Lebekins of Latvia, 77 pins out. Michael Schmidt of Canada, 79 back. And Naif Ikab Jabir of UAE, 83 pins behind 8th place. We'll get a little clarity after this game, I think. This is game 7, and we are going to have one more game after this one ends, as things are quite interesting here in these final couple of games to decide who's going to be in the round-robin match play tomorrow, which will be broadcast live here on Bull TV starting at 9:30 a.m. Central European Time. So the bowlers on our featured pairs this game, we've got Misha Kalika, who's in 7th place. He's going to be bowling on lane 13 here in a second. And Jabir from UAE sitting at 83 pins outside of 8th. So still with an outside shot to make it in if he can bowl a couple of really huge games these last couple. He has bowled rather well today, 1489, one of the high sets of the day. And then Eric Koch of the Netherlands is in 24th place, no chance to make it into the top 8. On the other pair, Chris Barnes in 6th place, 52 pins ahead of 8th place currently. Gibraltar and Russia too far behind. It appears to make a run into the top 8. Chris Barnes, 3 3 strikes in a row to start off Game 7. He has struggled a bit today. Barnes with 13.06 for the first 6 games today. The only bowler among the top 8 who has had a lower score today is Misha Kalika, who's at 12.55. So Barnes and Kalika have dropped a bit in the standings throughout this afternoon in the round of 8. I'm sorry, the round of 24. And they are both now kind of floating around that cut number heading into the last 2 games. Chris Barnes, 3 strikes in a row to start off game number 7. Gets another one, 4 in a row to start off this game. And Barnes off to a hot start here. A lucky break there for Chris Barnes. I think he'll take that. Said his carry's been pretty bad today, so I'm sure he's due a few breaks. And he gets one there for the front 5. Game and a half to go, and we will know our final 8 for round-robin match play tomorrow morning. Chris Barnes has struggled throughout the day and dropped from 3rd place to 6th place. Finds himself just 52 pins ahead of 8th coming into this game, but he started with the front 5 now. Let's see if he goes to the front 6. And he does. 6-bagger for Barnes to start off this game. I think that Barnes will certainly make the cut into match play. The key is that you want to be in the top 3, because that's the number of bowlers that advance to the finals after the round of 8. I don't think anybody's going to catch Tobias Boarding at this time. He is 290 pins ahead of the field. Certainly possible. He's actually not bowling that great of a game. He's going to have his lowest game of the day to this game. But Boarding is in great shape, but it's wide open for the next 2 spots at this point.
That's the number of doubles I've had in the last 5 games.
Alexei Parshikov of Russia, who finished 3rd last year at the World Cup. Front 5. And gets the 10 to fall forward. Slaps it out. A little lucky break there. He'll take it though. Barnes stepping up in the 7th, working on the front 6, and he's going to back off. Something didn't feel right. Finland also with a big string of strikes, front 8 this game. So I've got 3 players pretty close to me here that have got a decent chance to bowl a big game. Here's Barnes, front 6. Now front 7. Chris Barnes turning it up a notch here in the second to last game. Now would be a good time to post on Facebook and Twitter to let everybody know to tune in to Bowl TV. Just post the link to bowl.com/BowlTV and get your friends and mates to tune in and watch this last game and a half, because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty exciting to see who makes it in. Front 7 for the Russian. Round of 8 is tomorrow, starting at 9:30 Central European Time. Pretty early for those of you in the United States. Going to start at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Finals at a little bit better time for the United States. It's 1:30 estimated start time for the women, and that's Central European time, which is 7:30 Eastern. And then the men's final is set to start at 9:30. I'm sorry, at 3:30 Central European time, 9:30 Eastern time in the United States, and that is an approximate start time. Would advise you to keep an eye on the USBC Facebook and Twitter accounts, as well as the World Cup Facebook and Twitter accounts for updates as to when exactly everything will be starting tomorrow. All right, Chris Barnes, front 7, 8th frame, up on the approach. Trips out the 4. Chris getting back all the breaks he's missed out on so far today, this game. Tanteri of Finland has the front 10 right now off camera on lane 17 and 18. Can't show you because obviously you can tell there's a giant post there. Alexei Parshikov, Russia with the front 7, trying to extend his string here on our featured pairs. That one he got it a little bit right, and it hooked early on him and leaves the 10 pin, so that string comes to an end. Tanteri now with the front 11. I'll let you know if he closes it out for a 300. Tanteri is going to step up to the right of our featured pair with an opportunity to shoot the third 300 game of this tournament. I'll let you know if he does it. And he does. 300 game for Finland. Right now Chris Barnes steps up in the 9th frame working on the front 8. And he gets another one, so 9 strikes in a row for Chris Barnes.
Jednou mám na gram.
Chris Barnes now up with the front 9. Oh, and he paralyzes the 5-pin for the front 10. You're watching Bowl TV's live coverage of the round of 24 here at the QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. Chris Barnes of the United States with 10 strikes in a row to start this game. We just had a 300 this game from Finland on the pair next door. And Barnes with the front 10 right now. So here we go, Chris Barnes up, working on the front 10, looking for number 11. Oh, and he pitched it right and got 6. Leaves the 1, 2, 4, 8. You can tell Chris is a bit disappointed after that effort. And so it's going to be a 286 game with the spare. Still a great game, though, as we only have 1 game remaining now in our round of 24. We hope that you will join us tomorrow for the finals of the World Cup. The round of 8 match play starts at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time in the United States. The women's championship round starts at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The men's championship round scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So make sure you make a note. Sunday morning, good time to come watch bowling here on Bowl TV. Bowl.com/Bowl TV. Chris Barnes 286 here in game 27 of the tournament. Comes up short on the perfect game effort, front 10. And then leaves the 1, 2, 4, 8, makes the spare 286 for Barnes here in game 27. We have 1 game to go. It's a tight race to see who's going to make it into the round of 8. Very close in the standings. So it's going to be an exciting finish here in this last game coming up momentarily. And once again, finals at the World Cup are tomorrow. Women's championship round starting at 1:30 p.m. Central European Time. That's 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And the men's final scheduled to start at 3:30 p.m. Central European Time or 9:30 Eastern Time. So make sure you tune in for that here on Bowl TV. Had a little excitement there. Always fun to have a shot at a perfect game. Chris Barnes got us close. But again, pitched it right on the front 10 and left the 6 count, the 1, 2, 4, 8 on his second shot in the 10. 259 for Russia, 184 for Gibraltar, 186 for Netherlands, 290 for UAE, as he has really moved up the standings a considerable amount today, Jabir has. And Misha Kalik of the Ukraine, 226 this game.
Trying to get to the right so we can get going. I'm about ready to drill a 15-pounder, just take it. Because they have, but
All right, so 1 game to go. We'll get you an update on the standings here momentarily. See who we're going to have here on the featured pairs for this last game. Just tuning in, you missed Chris Barnes, had the front 10. Got 6 on the 11th shot, ended up with 286. So it's a big game for Barnes because he had been struggling throughout the day and had dropped from 3rd to 6th in the standings and was moving closer and closer to that cut number. But that 286 will just about guarantee him a spot in the round of 8 tomorrow. Almost certainly guarantees him a spot in the round of 8 for tomorrow. Should have updated standings any moment. In fact, they are now updated on the scroller on the bottom of your screen. And we'll run through them for you here in just a moment once I get my update. All right, so the last game, we've got Romania, Canada, India, Philippines, Bahrain, and Italy on the featured pairs. Looks like the standings going into the last game. Germany in first, Philippines second, Sweden third, USA fourth, Australia fifth, Colombia sixth, Ukraine seventh, England eighth. And UAE has jumped all the way up to 9th place. And would you believe that Jabir from the UAE he was 22nd coming into today, and now he's moved all the way up to 9th place. At the start of this day, he was more than 200 pins outside of 8th place. And now Jabir has narrowed that down and is in 9th, only 16 pins outside of the number. And we have 7 bowlers now within 63 pins of 8th. Wow, close. Let's run through those countries for you. It's England in 8th place, followed by UAE, Romania, Israel, Malaysia, Latvia, Canada, and Finland. And they are all within 63 pins of the cut position going into this last game.
Mali.
So Romania and Canada on our featured pair here, the ones who are the closest to the cut number. Romania in 10th and Canada in 14th. D-Boy Rivera of the Philippines is in second place. He will definitely make the cut. Bahrain, Italy, and India too far behind to make it into the match play. We'll keep you posted as we move along here, see how things transpire. I can tell you Israel has started with the front four this game. Things kind of going a little bit slow here for Canada and Romania in this last game where really they have to bowl a huge game to have any chance to make it into the round of 8, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen for Michael Schmidt of Canada. It's just so close, we're just going to have to wait and see what the final totals are once this game ends. Chris Barnes has the front 5 of this game. Israel front 4, 9 spare double. You can follow the live scoring at QubicaAMF.com. If you would like to follow any of the pairs that were not live streaming, you can at least see the frame-by-frame results as they happen.
Exciting stuff, huh? Just about done with our round of 24. Only half a game to go until we know officially who the top 8 are going to be for the round robin match play tomorrow morning. looks like the Finn has the front 8 again. He just shot 300 last game. That would be an epic finish. He could shoot another one. Still may not be enough, but it would be interesting to say the least. Thornton of England, who's on the bubble, he's 8th place. He is the cut right now. Only 104 in the 6th. So he is struggling this game, and he might get past. In fact, I think it's increasingly likely that he will get past. Israel just let out a cheer as he has just thrown another strike, and he has struck on 8 of 9 shots to start this game and has a chance for 279. I told you Chris Barnes had the front 5. He ended up going 9 spare in the next frame. We'll stay on the air until we know who our final 8 are. And Tanteri from Finland finally missed and left a single pin in the 9th, and that really hurts his odds of making it in. Not impossible, but it hurts him. There's some guys below the number that are shooting some big games. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all settles out. I think that Steve Thornton of England is in a lot of trouble. I think that he's going to come up short. I don't know that he's going to make it into the round robin at this point. He would need a big finish to get there. I mean, it's still possible for him to make it, but he needs a really huge finish to get there. .279 for Israel. It's a big game right there. I think that just about guarantees that Steve Thornton is not going to make the cut. Because he cannot get ahead of that.
Well, Misha Kalika just missed a single pin in the 9th frame. It's still possible Steve Thornton can make it in if he can go ahead of Kalika. It's really close, though. I mean, there could be somebody else who's popping a big game that can get around him. We just have to wait and see. Chris Barnes can shoot 279 this game. Manuel Otalora only shooting in the 170s. .162 for Manuel Otalora. Kalika doubled in the 10th. .259 for Magnus Jansson of Sweden. Thornton going to finish at 203 with a strike on his last ball. Which is not going to be enough. Still waiting for things to go final here. All right, so it looks like unofficially it is going to be Germany first, Sweden second, USA third, Australia fourth, Philippines fifth, Colombia sixth, Israel seventh, and Ukraine eighth. Finland misses by 23 pins in ninth place, England in 10th, and Latvia in 11th, Romania 12th. That is how things finish up here. So our round of 8 for tomorrow is going to be Germany, Sweden, USA, Australia, Philippines, Colombia, Israel, and the Ukraine. See you back here tomorrow live on Bowl TV. Live coverage begins at 9:30 a.m. Central European Time of the round of 8 here at the World Cup. See you tomorrow.
Done. It's your earliest day so far. Good for you. We have to live stream that.
No, thank God. Good thing. That would be bad news. Yeah, opened it live.